What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news. With it being a Thursday, of course, we get the return of the TWID. And so Bungie give us some updates about the game. They talk a little bit about Onslaught, which they revealed this week. They tease a little bit of new gear there as well, and they reveal what they're going to be talking about in the second live stream for Into the Light next Tuesday, so we'll cover that. Plus we get an update from the PvP Strike team. They talk a little bit about some sandbox tuning coming in the next update. And Bungie reveal that they are going to be having a 20% silver discount starting March 26th. So a few bits to talk about in the video, guys. As always, I hope you find this one interesting, and if you do, a rating below really helps us out. But now, let's get into it. And firstly, they talk about Onslaught. Bit of a recap here on what we saw in the live stream, but they do show us an image of some of the gear. So firstly, we have new armor for all of the classes. On top of that, we can see the Titan holding the sword that was in the promo art for Into the Light. So that one looks pretty cool. On top of that though, the Hunter is holding a very classic hand cannon model right there. Quite similar to a few of the D1 hand cannons, but actually I think it's probably Luna's HOWL. It's the exact same model, and Bungie have teased that they'll be sort of bringing back a series of older Crucible weapons as part of Shaxx's arsenal for Into the Light, so looks like that one is coming back. Probably gives us further hints that we'll also see things like Recluse, and the ornament for that, of course, is in the Eververse store this season now. Will be interesting to see what they do if they bring Luna's HOWL back, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're looking at, with the exception of it having a different skin, but that seems to be a bit of a theme among all of the weapons that we've seen so far, much like the Midnight Coup that we got gameplay of on Tuesday. So there we go, probably getting Luna's HOWL, and I'll be curious to check that out. And the Warlock possibly rocking the same pulse rifle that we saw in the original image. So a bit closer to seeing some of the rewards for Into the Light. But the breakdown once again that we'll be defending against enemy waves in Onslaught, where we need to protect the advanced defense unit. I do wonder why we need to defend the defense unit though. Perhaps it's not that advanced after all, but defending each location consists of 10 total waves. And once you've completed 9 waves, players move on to the 10th, where we'll board the pyramid ship to take on a boss. But of course we can purchase and upgrade defenses, and defeating enemies will allow us to collect scraps, and we can use these to purchase and upgrade the defensive, with defensive units having 3 levels and upgrading them increasing their effectiveness. But during defenses, we'll be on the lookout for ADU batteries that can drop from saboteurs and other special units, and if the ADU is taking a beating, gathering batteries will help to repair some health. Plus players will earn more scrap every time we use an ADU battery. They point out there will be bonus objectives, and they provide valuable heavy ammo, but once we've successfully defended a location and defeated the boss, we'll continue the battle as we move to a new location to defend, and every 10 waves the difficulty of all enemies will increase. They add though that the ritual version of Onslaught will have you battling through 10 waves to defend a single location, while the standard and legend versions will require 50 total waves across a total of 3 locations, but additionally, the legend version will have everything you've come to expect with more challenging difficulty modes, including champions and weekly modifiers. And they do say they'll talk about Onslaught rewards in the next live stream. That'll be on March 26th, and they say they will cover the Brave arsenal of weapons. This is the kind of core weapon set for Into the Light, as well as a new social space plus new rewards, and Destiny 1 inspired armor, and more. And they point out that players will still have the opportunity to earn the exclusive emblems for the live streams by tuning in next week. So looking forward to getting more info. Cool to get a bit more of a preview or a quick look, I suppose, at some of the rewards. And the stream next Tuesday will certainly be interesting whatever happens, so give us your thoughts about that down below. But we get a PvP Strike Team weapon sandbox update, and they say they've been paying close attention to how the weapon sandbox has shaken out following the 7.35 changes. And it's very clear that some auto rifles are outperforming the competition in mid-range, with precision auto rifles in general being outliers, and this isn't purely a prosecutor problem, but 6 of the 10 best performing auto rifles in the high skill lobbies are 450 RPM precisions, with positive outlook being the strongest. It's just like D2 year 1 all over again. But the same contrast, the Summoner, while usage is quite high, is not displaying nearly the same level of effectiveness in high skill lobbies, despite the Flint Striker perk in the artifact giving it a boost in PvP. So after reviewing both the data and a large amount of feedback, for precision auto rifles, they're decreasing base damage by 5%. So those are going to be a bit less strong in PvP. Then with hand cannons and precisions, we'll see increased base damage by 6%, with adaptives increasing body shot damage by 1% and crit damage by 4%, and that'll give adaptive hand cannons a more forgiving range cushion, and will also correct the issue preventing explosive payload from killing in 3 crits against all resilience levels. But for pulse rifles, rapid fire frames will see increased body shot damage by 3.5% 5% and increase critical damage by 1%. Lightweight body shot damage will go up by 6%, and crit damage will move by 3%, and for adaptives, they're increasing body shot damage by 5% and crit damage by 2%. So a slight shake up on the pulse rifles once again, but rapid fire scout rifles will see increased base damage by 2%, with lightweight bows increasing base damage by 6%. They do say Wish Ender and Le Monarch are not affected by that change. But for exotics and for Sunshot, they're increasing critical hit damage against players in Crucible by 11% to allow it to kill in 3 crits. That could be pretty juicy, and then Last Word will see increased base damage by 6% to allow it to kill in 3 crits as well. But they also say for Flinch in the new sandbox, with the increased reliance on critical hits, being flinched off target when using a primary weapon feels especially punishing, so they're reducing flinch taken by all primary weapons by 15%. Of course, flinch can be pretty obnoxious, so we've got all of that to look out for alongside Into the Light on April 9th. So give us your thoughts on those changes. I guess we'll see how it plays out. The final thing here though, and there will be a 20% off silver discount, which starts on the 26th of March. So on Tuesday, all silver packages will be discounted by 20% for 1 week through to April 2nd. And they say look out for the discount on the platform store of your choice beginning Tuesday, March 26th. But they point out, as a reminder, silver does not transfer between platforms on the same account. But of course, we've had a few silver things introduced, not least the Ghostbusters set that came out this week. And they also say anyone who makes a purchase in the Bungie store will receive a Slimer Ghost Shell papercraft at no extra cost. So a little extra if you do decide to pick anything up in the Bungie store, and that runs until March 31st. A couple of final things to round up here though, and as we discussed earlier, Bungie have actually gone ahead and banned a bunch of players who sent notifications to Bungie devs during the live stream for Into the Light on Tuesday. And unfortunately, a lot of toxicity and slurs were used in various Steam names that then added Bungie accounts. And that meant a whole bunch of unpleasant stuff was popping up on the live stream as well, but Bungie have managed to track down a bunch of players who were responsible for that, as they were actually using their own Steam accounts, which in the end is pretty foolish because it's meant they're also banned from Destiny 2 now. They've also said that they will take further measures to ensure that notifications aren't shown on screen next time, and to generally moderate toxic behavior during live streams, so worth keeping that in mind. And it's also worth pointing out that this isn't in relation to feedback about the game, but more specifically has been about abusive behavior that's been happening during the streams, so it's worth adding that for context. And a couple of additional updates, but Bungie Help said they've resolved an issue causing the Destiny 2 official Twitch extension to appear offline, and viewers that continue to encounter errors should refresh their stream. And then they clarified something about the passage of persistence once again here, and on Reddit they said if you've gone to the lighthouse, adepts can drop afterwards on wins after any 7-win card, including passage of persistence. But the text on passage of persistence just indicates that the persistence card cannot be turned back into Saint 14 for an additional focused adept. So again, a bit complicated understanding the parameters of some of these trials cards and how they vary, but Bungie continue to clarify, and who knows, maybe there's some quality of life updates that can be made to better explain some of these features in the future. It at least would be friendlier for new players. Very finally though, Bungie have also said they are aware that the Twitch drop time requirements for the D2 Into the Light streams don't match what they originally announced, and essentially it's difficult for them to undo that, but to ensure that there's enough time for players to unlock all of the emblems associated with the Into the Light streams, they're going to be remaining live until 11:30 AM Pacific time for the next 2 streams to give players extra time to earn the emblems, so something to keep in mind on that front as well. For today though guys, that's everything we've got to round up, so obviously Bungie are saving most of the stuff really for the reveal streams now, but we'll probably get a couple of additional things in the next couple of weeks before that goes live. So as always, keep it locked and loaded here on the channel. I'll keep you posted with everything related to the game. Share your thoughts once again in the comment section, and if you have enjoyed the video, a rating below helps us out below as well. Otherwise though, cheers for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.